Hey there, I want to give you a little bit of instruction on learning activity number 5. Once you go to the content page, go into the instructions, we have 7 different websites that you're going to choose from and explore for creating your lesson plan. What I recommend is kind of doing an overview of all of them, just so you know what's out there before you decide what you want to spend the most time in. And it would be helpful for you, especially when you start to write that lesson plan that you're going to share with your group members and the rest of the class. If you notice at the end of these, it tells you specifically maybe what content it would be best suited for in kind of a grade level. I have videos showing you how to work through each of these individual websites. And if you look in right here, this just pulls up a YouTube video and walks you through how to find different things within that. Remember that only one person from each group per website, so that means you've got to do a little bit of digging. Now, I will say this, Globe is one that people have struggled a little bit with in the past, but I think once you spend some time with it, it is wonderful for helping your students understand how math and science really connect. When you create graphs and you do those kinds of things in math and you're teaching that, rather than having just abstract numbers, you can go to this website and it will give you climate data for your area, for other areas, and you can actually have your students graph things that are somewhat meaningful and then attempt to make sense of it. So that in itself is a really good thing. Alright, so if you're looking at learning activity number 5, we're going to go to number 7, communicating science. So this is what the homepage looks like. And specifically, I want you to look at this tab right here. You may see some things on learning strategies for communicating science, but we're going to explore this one. And as you notice, it gives you just a couple of little random sections, and let's decide on communicating uncertainty. Why not? It has educator resources and basically some content for you to walk through and just kind of play around with what's in here. What you may end up finding is some of it is going to be more useful for you than other sections, but go to educator resources and it actually says some suggestions on things that you can use. Remember, I don't want you using their lesson plans. Think of this as a resource where you can go later on and find lesson plans, but I want you to create your own. And if this website doesn't work at all for you, that's fine. Go on to something else. But I think this is helpful for those teachers who aren't just science, who are more ELA, but can actually help their students make sense of writing within the sciences. So I think I played through this the other day, and one of the suggestions that they had was looking at writing for like a journal and giving them different topics and specific things that would help, like a news article or something like that, like a problem, this is the issue, and how you present that to an audience that may not be scientists. So that would be adding in content vocabulary, but it would also be adding in the writing piece of okay, so if we take it back to the beginning page for student resources and look at different formats. Most of you have your students writing some type of essay or maybe an article, depending on the grade level. And they struggle at times once they get to high school and middle school on how to write good lab reports. So this could be useful for you in maybe planning some type of lab and then explaining in detail how you would have them write up this information. So just kind of play with these things and see what you can come up with. It really depends on what your interest areas are and what stands out. So I would say that this is going to take a little bit of time to dig through and play with each of these sections.